dependent on the amount of sugar in the bloodstream. If there's too much sugar in the blood, the brain is overstimulated. If the sugar level drops too low, then brain functions wind up being reduced. The job of the pancreas is to regulate the amount of sugar in the blood in order to keep the brain function stable. Keep the brain function stable. When sugar levels in the blood are high, insulin is released to move this sugar into storage in the muscles and into the liver. When sugar levels are low, the glucose is released to bring sugar in the liver out of store. When the sugar levels are low, the glucose is released to bring sugar in the liver out of storage. Refined or simple carbohydrates, including white sugar, white flour, polished rice, potatoes, alcohol, they all cause a spike in the blood sugar, stimulating the release of insulin. In short, coffee and donuts, they're not good brain food. Excess insulin produced by eating simple carbohydrates suppresses the glucagon production. So when sugar levels get low, the body has a hard time pulling the sugar out of storage. As a result, the sugar levels get low and the brain suffers. Low blood sugar can make a person feel cranky, irritable, touchy, dizzy, weak, withdrawn, confusion.
Wow. Wow. May I?
Yes.
Okay, so if you remember back, I had talked to you about me having a diabetic patient, where he was on the insulin, had going for surgery for some, I can't remember for what, but anyways, so I got him onto a regimen of course, the hospital helped getting him on a regimen of good eating and proper eating, and then we got him on some other products, but one of the products that we put him on was a cannabis oil pill, and I told you that it had he had numbers, blood sugar numbers of over 400.
Yeah,
not good at all. But he got the food, the cannabis oil pill, and everything else. We got his numbers to go down to 95.
That's excellent.
And not only that, I just got news that the doctors, he went in for his checkup not too long ago, and the doctor says, we can't explain it. Whatever you're doing, keep it up, because you no longer need the insulin shots anymore.
That's excellent.
So
That's excellent.
Right? I'm so happy for him, But guys, it was a choice. He had a choice of either, making a change or continuing on those shots and maybe more surgeries, which would have been more expensive than to just go ahead and say, you know what, all right, fine, I may be having to spend a little bit extra in food, but the money that you're going to save from the hospital bills and everything else that could accompany with it, to me, it's a no-brainer.
It's true. It's true.
So that was my good story for the week.
That is excellent, because it's like, prior to cannabis, prior to prohibition, there were over 110 ailments that cannabis elixir, a tincture, was used for.
Right.
Then we got all of these drugs, and we not only have those same 110, but now from the advent of the antibiotics and all the other drugs, and now from all those antibiotics, we've got bacterial cultures that were killed in the digestive tract that we are missing now, that we don't even have, that are supposed to be part of the gut flora. They were completely, totally destroyed.
Wow.
So, there's a few of them that they're gone, and maybe next show we'll cover, the antibiotics and what gets done with that. But in about 1945, with penicillin, being the new wonder drug, this is where fungus was introduced into the body, and then that opened up a whole new Pandora's box of health issues from fungus.
right.
being brought into the body. Stop and think about it. Where does the antibiotics come from? Mold.
Right.
What happens when
comes
you
from mold.
uh-huh.
I used to make homemade acid back in my young and dumb days.
The young and dumb,
100% rye bread. You'd let it mold, capsule it up, and just like taking Sid.
Scary. So, but the thing is that here with what's going on with this guy with the with the cannabis oil. Is that what he's...
Yeah. Cannabis oil, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now his blood sugar has gone from 400 into the mid-90s.
95.
And that's perfect. That is a perfect blood sugar
I'm
level.
So happy for him.
Perfect.
He no longer has to have those shots, and for me, that's a huge deal.
Well,
I mean...
there's so much diabetes, and it's kind of, again, childhood diabetes type 1, or, decades ago it was called brittle. Brittle diabetic. A brittle diabetic was a juvenile diabetic. That was diabetes type 1. Adult onset diabetes type 2. But I'm sorry. There's foods. There's foods that you have to get out of your life. You have to get out of your life with type 2 diabetes. Type 1, that's genetic. Your pancreas is not born. When you're born, it's not strong enough. What actually ends up happening is the cells attack each other.
Right.
Okay, and that's what shuts down the pancreas. But hey, you can even be diagnosed with juvenile diabetes at 40.
Oh.
Juvenile diabetes doesn't mean that it just happens with someone under 18.
Wow, very interesting.
There are people who are diagnosed that are older than that, but diabetes type 2 has to do with the insulin resistance and low blood sugar for a long time. Instead of eating eggs or protein, something like that to help stabilize the blood sugar. They go for a pop in a candy bar. That's a bad habit.
Well, I honestly believe that the cannabis oil pill directly affects and helps the pancreas.
Absolutely. Well, in a situation like that, to go from, on insulin and having blood sugars at 400, blood sugars at 400, blood sugars at 200, you're damaging your eyes. You're slowly but surely you're damaging your eyes. What happens a lot of times with diabetics that are sometimes 20, 30, 40 years, that they start losing their eyesight. Kidney damage. High blood sugar levels not addressed and taken care of will destroy your vision. It will destroy your kidneys. You'll be on dialysis. The end results of not getting that into control are not good.
Right, because I tell you, if you've had any type of kidney problems, that hurts. Let me tell you, that hurts.
Yeah, and you don't, it's really cheaper just to eat better. It's cheaper to research and see what it is that you need.
Right? I don't like that type of pain. I will do whatever I have to make sure that my kidneys and my liver working properly, because, man, I do not want that pain. Get that pain one time, and I guarantee you, you will not want that pain ever again.
And one of the things is we see a lot of kidney stones. Those kidney stones there are teenagers passing kidney stones. I'm sorry. Get the pop out of the house. Pop, soda, whatever you call it. Get it out. It's the phosphorus in that. It's just you cannot. You cannot properly break down your calcium. And I've said this before. Sugar paralyzes the immune system. sugar also leaches the calcium out of your bones and tissue. Sugar.
And teeth.
And your teeth. That's right. Your bones, your teeth. Leaches it out. Pulls it out. So diabetes, blood sugar levels running in the 200, 150 or more. You need to make some serious changes. And it can be really difficult. I mean,
Sure.
I have known people who absolutely, they do things that are right, and they still really struggle with, blood sugar levels low in the 100s, but, they just can't seem to get them into the 90s. That's chromium is really, really important for that. Chromium helps to stabilize and utilize that, balance the blood sugar. There is a product called Propancreas that is outstanding for helping to bring the blood sugar levels down. But, we don't always want a pill for something. Your food is your medicine.
Right.
That's your medicine. Your
main
food, number one. Yes, you may need some herbs 3 to 6 months to help bring about a change. You might need it, rule of thumb is, 1 year for, 6 months, 3 to 6 months to bring you into balance. And then you're looking at 1 month for every year that you've been dealing with this problem. So while you're on that path of rebuilding and re-educating yourself, and making these changes, you're constantly looking to your food, because your food is your medicine. And when your herb program changes around, and you get to the point where, you just got some basic things. You're doing a basic detoxifier, you're keeping the bowel open, you're making sure digestion is good, you're taking a multivitamin, you're doing, good quality, salmon oil, fish oil, krill oil, something for your omega-3s, 6s, your 9s, your DHA, your DHA, lecithin, krill oil, salmon oil. Salmon oil is said to be the highest with the DHA. But, all of that good stuff, that good fat for the nervous system, again, lecithin, very affordable. Buy it in bulk and give it to the children. You got a little one that's fidgety in the doesn't want to sit still. They're probably not ADD. If they're ADHD, and pay attention to how they react 10, 15 minutes after what they've eaten. Take a look at what they're eating. If your kids want to swing on the chandeliers and you need to peel them off the ceiling, or they're to the point of so outrageous that they're going to hurt themselves, you need to take a look at what you're feeding them.
Right.
Because the chemical reaction with the brain and the sensitivity to that toxin, that neurotoxin, that's the effect. The effect of what's in that food is what you're watching on display as, the kid wants to climb up on the entertainment center and jump to the center of the room and grab the ceiling fan. I mean, come on,
So we can go ahead and open up the phone lines if you want.
Okay. I'll keep on talking. If there's anybody that wants to call in, go ahead and call in to 626-709-6637, and I'll take your call. I want to talk about some natural approaches. A few more things here. The brain functions. Okay, so we talked about the proteins, neurotransmitters derived from the proteins. The neurotransmitters are the chemical messengers, and they transmit the signals from one nerve cell to another. They are created from specific amino acids using vitamins, primarily the B complex, and minerals. Low-protein diets also affect people's thinking, and it makes them pretty inflexible. One can see mood and behavioral disorders, including full-blown mental